At the beginning of the semester, I had absolutely no idea what the term digital literacy meant. I thought it meant whether or not we knew how to operate a computer. However, I've grown to learn that digital literacy is actually much more than that. Throughout the semester, we've learned the importance of digital literacy and its impact on our world through lectures, readings, and projects. We reflected on Cynthia Self, who said in Technology and Literacy in the 21st Century that technological literacy means computer skills and the ability to use computers and other technology to improve learning, productivity, and performance. It is fundamental to a person's ability to navigate through society as traditional skills like reading, writing, and arithmetic, she states. Furthering this idea, Kelly emphasizes that we are people of the screen in his article, Becoming Screen Literate. He continues to say that we must learn to use words as fluently as images on the screen, and once we've mastered the manipulation of these things, we become visually literate. He takes a techno-determinist approach and says that as technology advances, our culture ultimately follows. Gone are the days when there were things like art creation that was limited simply to exclusive artists. I didn't realize how much I was digitally literate until being presented with the notion in class. We were assigned a notebook to record phone usage over the period of 48 hours. Not shocking were the results that pretty much everyone in the class had large amounts of phone usage. Even less shocking was the fact that everyone in class had access to smartphones. This just furthered Kelly's idea that we're people of the screen. Being that everyone in the class was at least some form of digital literate, we provided great resource to put our skills to the test through WordPress. It brought together numerous mixed media, allowed for aggregation of related content, and allowed users to manipulate how content is presented to the audience. It also allowed integration between numerous applications via comments, sharing, and subscribing. I was somewhat familiar to this platform because I kept a blog while studying abroad, describing all of my travels. I thought it would be interesting blogging and handling a new topic. Twitter was also a powerful tool in perfecting digital literacy. Users are allowed to build community through gaining and becoming followers. People use hashtags to share and easily find related posts. Users can also add to the post by quoting tweets and adding text. For our class, we were able to create a hashtag CTPF15 to stay connected. Because of my topic and its origination via Twitter, I found this site extremely useful. I was able not only to follow the conversation through hashtags, I was connected to multiple leaders of the movement, and I could also participate in the conversation. Another one of the tools introduced to us was Pocket. It was a read it later service where users save sites to review later. It could allow us to categorize and select sites that we thought were interesting. Along with sites, it could aggregate stories that you found useful. This application perfectly supported Shirky's idea of filtering, that we often have enough or too much information that we need to focus on filtering for it to become useful. I was aware of this function because it's offered through Facebook, where it allows you to save posts for later that you like or enjoy. And I'm an avid Facebook user. Providing interesting blog content was challenging for me. I was reminded of Ken Robinson's talks about how schools kill creativity. And I realized that as I worried about my grades and how the blogs would come out, it shaped the way I produce content through these blogs. I would draw from numerous references to gain facts and inspiration when writing my blogs. This reminded me of the notion that everything is a remix, but there are limits to fair use when considering digital literacy. I found myself using and remixing information to get it to fit my intended narrative. In this way, it actually aided my creativity. Luckily, it is an advantage that digital literacy helps us to improve the notion of participatory culture. People mix text, media, and pictures to express themselves, with the assumption that their expression will be valued by a shared group, therefore welcoming participation from various users. Harry Jenkins states that some of the benefits from these forms of participatory culture include opportunities for peer-to-peer learning, a changed attitude toward intellectual property, diversification of cultural expression, development of skills valued in the workplace, and an empowered conception of citizenship. In this way, participatory culture, aided by digital literacy, could help better society as a whole. I got to learn from and educate my peers who took interest in my blog. I got to join in and help further conversation on certain topics because of this very notion. This type of participatory culture serves as a combatant to selfish attitudes society has fostered toward intellectual property. The most notable example of this were through my blogs Dear Raven Simone and How to Survive as a Black Student at a PWI. I would have never guessed that these posts would go viral. However, the participatory culture was fostered through the site where they were shared the most, Facebook, is huge. This definitely helped to increase the traffic to my blog and website. I was also able to directly respond to users and view through WordPress the impact that that my blog was having and through viewers. Over the course of the semester, I have come to learn that digital literacy is necessary to remain competitive and relevant in today's changing landscape. It allows freedom to express, remix, and create content appealing to numerous senses. It is mirrored in multiple fields and majors, whether it's art, biology, engineering, or whatever. If we are to thrive as communicators, people, and as a society, we must become digitally literate, whether that skill is learned from outside experience or in a classroom.